Hey, hey, welcome back, everybody. All right, let's get into a singles storyline. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Let's jump on in. So, we assume that our character is single in this story. See where that one takes us. We start with the Four of Wands. Four of Wands, this is somebody's tree of life that's growing and looking pretty amazing. This could be a character who's recognizing that they're ready for union, companionship. This could be a card of ready for like a spiritual sense of connection to somebody, like a marriage. Or this can be somebody who's, like really defining their life. They're saying the things that I give my energy to are the things that I see growing and building and taking off in my life. And it's just what I wanted it to be. It's, what I put out is what I receive back. We have a Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is this card always stresses me out because I want to go grab the baby and get it off of this cactus. But the baby's not being hurt. The baby's just perfectly placed. I feel like we're dealing with a character who, although they are ready for love, they know all too well that love has its thorns, and that, to get the sweet spot, to get in, start a new romance with somebody, there's plenty of pitfalls, right? When you're trying to get to know a new person, you want to take it step by step, but oftentimes it's really easy to get bent out of shape over the wrong thing, or to get triggered, or to, trigger somebody else that we didn't intend to. So I feel like we have a character who's very cognizant, very cognizant that I'd like to have a relationship, but oh God, the idea of starting one, building it from the ground up, having to treat it like it's a little fragile baby, and knowing that there's danger all around, and we really have to handle this very carefully. Four of Pentacles. Then our character goes back into thinking, maybe I just don't even want to do this. Maybe I'm not ready yet. Because, it's making my armpits sweat just thinking about the idea of, oh God, going out on a first date, getting to know somebody, having conversation with them. Even here, like, the baby isn't going to be walking anytime soon, but he's got his adorable little moccasins on. Oh my God, I love this card so much, even though it also stresses me out. But I just love those little moccasins. Oh, they're so beautiful. We've got the Nine of Cups. It just feels like it's this awareness that I need to protect and nurture something. If I want to have a successful relationship, it's got to start somewhere. But that almost makes our character want to pull back, because am I really ready for this? Maybe I'm really happy being single. Maybe the way my life is just fine. Just fine. Don't need anything. Don't need anybody. Maybe it's just fine the way it is. I don't look, I absolutely, I'm sure our character can be just fine just the way it is, but I don't know if that's what they really want. We have a Five of Swords. Five of Swords energy is all about hostility and blockage, wanting to win at all costs. But this is what I kind of feel like our character has dealt with in the past. And you notice how their ancestors are swarming them. Here's what I would argue. I would argue, based off of the, we have no major arcana. It's all minor. So we know that this is a character's like journey that they're on right now, of trying to sort through how they feel about, I'd love to be in an amazing relationship. I could envision what a great feeling it would be, and how much I could build and grow with somebody if I had the right partner. And I would really love to do that. But I'm thinking that our character has had plenty of terrible experiences in love. I'm thinking that maybe they are a fabulous partner. They would be gentle and understanding and patient and kind with a lover. But I don't know if they've ever received much of that in return. I'm wondering if this character, look, it's not as if our character is just this little marshmallow who can't handle anything. But I'm wondering if our character is quite aware that it can be very painful sometimes, to try giving your best to something, only to have somebody else not be on the same page as you, and they're not going to handle you with the same, care and consideration that you would be giving them. So invariably it ends up being, heartbreaking, or ends up being painful. And they're just like, I don't know if I can do that again. Here's the baby again. Here's the idea of like, I would come forward and offer to be in a relationship, but then it feels like time and again, they kept getting slapped in the face. And I feel like they're really debating, do I just, even though I think it'd be great to have a relationship, maybe I don't need one. Maybe this is the sign from the universe that I'm not supposed to have one. The ancestors surrounding our character saying, listen, we're here to protect you. We're here to even defend you. I'm almost thinking that the ancestors are saying, Dylan, we got your back. Even if you've had unfortunate encounters in the past, you keep bouncing back. You keep being a beautiful, loving person who would be amazing in a partnership because you treat a partnership with tremendous grace and consideration. The ancestors seem a little pissed, though, on behalf of our character. Like, we want to protect you from getting hurt, but you're also such a great catch. We don't want you to not share your energy with somebody. Knight of Wands. Okay, I'm wondering if we have a very attractive person. This could be a masculine or a feminine. We don't know the gender at all here. But this is a very attractive person who I think is either preyed upon by a lot of people that want them. This could be like a lot of people thirst after them, but want them for the wrong reason. You know, I'm picturing like a Marilyn Monroe character, you know, everybody knows she's gorgeous, everybody, but she's also kind of a tragic figure, you know, didn't really have success in love. I'm wondering if maybe we have a character that is very, very beautiful, very kind, very handsome, very, you know, one of the really good ones. They're like, they're the full package. They're emotionally intelligent. They're kind. They're, you know, loving. They're patient. They would make a fabulous partner. But so many people want them that want them for selfish reasons. Maybe our character has more people that come at them that want to like thirst after them, but don't really have the greatest of intentions. And I'm wondering if, you know, that's no fault of their own. So they happen to be, you know, I'll say cursed with being a really gorgeous person. And that is what they get, is they get all the wrong kinds of attraction of people coming toward them. And they get their heart broken and they sometimes get used. We've got the Sun in the reverse. We've got the Two of Wands upright. And they haven't figured out why. And it is making them just want to stay away from people. This is such a tragedy because I feel like this person is such a great catch. And you can understand why they would be like, it never works out. And I don't know why the wrong people come into my world and then they don't stay very long either. But I'm not sure what the vibe is that I'm getting given off that seems to be attracting all the wrong ones. I don't think that our character is giving off any of the wrong vibes. I think if they maybe haven't looked in the mirror lately to realize that they're, you know, devastatingly attractive, maybe that's one thing. They don't see themselves in the real light. With that Sun, that's our only major arcana. So strong Leo energy. Leo should be kind of bold, kind of brassy, kind of, you know, a little bit of a swagger. Oftentimes, like the Leo energy is considered to be somebody that's like, you know, they know that they're kind of hot. They know that they got it going on. But I'm wondering if this character does not see themselves that way at all. And they need to. They need to realize that what keeps attracting other people is, look, darling, you're super attractive. You can't blame people for knowing that you're hot and they want to come towards you, even if they don't have anything to offer. This is always the analogy I use where I say, if it's an ice cold forest and somebody builds a fire, who comes to the fire? Everybody. Every dangerous forest creature, every sweet little fuzzy bunny, every sharp-toothed animal that wants warmth as well. You can't blame everybody from wanting to move towards somebody who's as bright as the sun. However, our character hasn't realized that. They haven't realized that there will be the wrong ones that will be drawn to me. But I don't know why, because all I want to be is like kind to somebody, or I want to give something sincere and build something sincere. So how come I keep getting people that they want me, but they don't want to stay? Darling, it's not that they don't want to even stay. It's probably that they don't have the power to stay. They may not be bringing anything to the table other than in their own mind, all they've got to offer is, lust, and they're driven by it. And you're really attractive, so they're coming towards you for that. Maybe, I feel like our character. Sorry, guys, I know that was buffering for a second. I hope it's all smoothed out now. Let me know if the audio is okay also, because sometimes when it buffers, when it comes back in, it'll kick off the mic and use like a built-in mic that does not have good sound. But I feel like this is it's a little bit low EM. Okay, let me know if that settles out or if that just keeps staying funky. With the Knight of Swords upright, I feel like our character is like they're in that place where they also kind of are fed up and they'd like to bypass any more of the ones that are just there for, you know, a short time, not a long time, and they'd like to just get to a relationship with somebody. But maybe our character does have an idea that it would be nice to just meet the right person, and you know they're the right person, and everything clicks and everything's perfect. And there maybe is that could be one little thing that they might need to readjust in their mind. You know, it's very tempting because we see so many movies and we hear so many romantic stories where it's like, oh, when you know, and it was just, you know, I met and then we went out on one date and then we just never left each other, and I just moved in kind of unofficially that same, you know, weekend that we met. But not everybody's life story goes that way. And I think maybe that's setting a really high bar of expectation where, well, I thought I was supposed to meet the right one and we were just supposed to know, and then it was going to be seamless. And it kind of feels like to not expect everything to move so fast and be so perfect, so that first we can realize the intentions of some of these people who come in that don't have much to offer, but they're really attracted to this very attractive person. I just feel like if our character could wrap their head around a few things like this, and I feel like that's maybe what the ancestors are trying to convey. That's why the ancestors are so prominent here. They're surrounding her, and I feel like it's the ancestors are trying to give her him or her, these messages that say, sweetheart, you're really attractive. Sweetheart, there's going to be lots of people who want you, and you're kind of too innocent to realize they don't have a lot to offer, but they know you do. So they come towards you anyway. And then, baby, don't think that anybody who smiles at you and says that they want you also thinks about your well-being and your kindness and that they're going to be the right one. You have to expect more from them, and, you know, expect them to show you with actions and words over a course of time that they're the right one. Not everybody operates as altruistically as you do. And I just feel like the ancestors are really trying to support our character, because I'm not saying our character is stupid or naive, but I am thinking that they're a really good person who thinks everybody operates as like, well, I wouldn't go just be attracted to somebody, know that I have nothing to offer, but try to, you know, get them into bed. I wouldn't do that to them. So I can't believe people would do that to me. Anyway, what do you mean I'm not attractive? Who says I'm attractive? You know, and it just feels like our character is just a little bit like they don't operate on the same wavelength as some of the we'll call them the romantic partners who've approached them operate. And that's the only breakdown here. It's the only reason they haven't yet found the right person, but it's also why they're almost so sick about the whole topic of like even finding love. They want it, but they don't want to go through the work of trying to find it because they're like, nothing's yielded results yet. But if nothing's yielded results yet, that's where the ancestors are trying to say, but there's the reason that nothing's worked out yet is because there's still a couple of little fine-tuning lessons that you got to first know. And the first one is you're really attractive. So look in the mirror and be able to see yourself as others see you. Take a photo of yourself and then look at it like it wasn't you, and realize you're really, really attractive. That's why certain people are definitely going to come towards you that have absolutely nothing to offer. So now weed out the ones, you've met a couple of them, maybe more than a couple, that have just been there for lust and had nothing to offer and that were kind of shady. Okay, so you know the red flags on that. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to the hunger in their eyes that's got nothing more behind it, and that are being too familiar with you a little too soon. They're obviously trying to charm their way into your bedroom. Pay attention to those things because you know the signs now. So that wasn't wasted. Being with the wrong people wasn't wasted after all. Somebody wants to push too fast and act like they know you too well too soon. Maybe that's another red flag. Get to know somebody. See if they care about, you know, the little pieces of your life. See if they remember the little things about you. See if they're actually focused on you for more than a night or more than, 3 weekends. Let it build slower, and keep people a little bit out of your heart until they deserve to get into your heart. This is, don't let somebody into your
your empire. What if they're only there to like eat all your food and drink all your wine and make a big pig mess and then leave? No way. They have to bring something to get into the empire. If you're going to come into the empire, what are you bringing? There's a like something that you have to contribute here. And I just feel like our character is going to do a lot better in this concept of love if they maybe look at a few of those things first. I mean, at least those are the cards we got coming in from the ancestors. Ah, look at that. There we go. The World card. Okay, she got a banging bod, whoever this is. If she can see herself, we're going to say she now, but please remember this could still be a dude. It's just we've got a feminine, a very voluptuous figured feminine here who is like, if she's taking the advice of the ancestors, I think she's going to be able to wrap her head around all of this. She's going to be able to like admit, okay, I get it now. I get it. That's why people, the wrong ones, have been coming into my life. But I'm starting over. I'm doing things differently now. I'm walking in like I'm the hot commodity. I know that I have a whole world to offer. Of course, that's going to be attractive to people. I have a lot to offer. That is a beautiful, like, new concept. Nine of Pentacles. Now the sense of like worth and well-being cannot be taken away either. We have a character who's like, energy flow is like, they're really, I'm going to say, very aligned now energetically. Like all the chakras are firing just right. All of their energy flow is just, I feel like they're very self-contained now. They're feeling pretty comfortable in themselves. That's an amazing turnaround to have happen. So does that mean now our character will have an easier time meeting somebody that they would really like to attract because they're probably weeding out people that aren't offering as much? Yeah, with the Ace of Pentacles, I would say this is it's especially during this year. We've got this, little serpent that has a bat at the end of it, or maybe it's a grappling hook. I don't know. But this is a great year to change the way we do things and then start attracting things. If we do things different, we get different results. That's exactly what we've got going on. I don't know. Maybe somebody's going to wind up meeting the right partner, and that partner could, maybe they have cows. Maybe they're a rancher. Maybe they run a dairy farm. And it's somebody who's just right for them in the Milky Way galaxy. That Four of Cups says the only regret is that they didn't figure this out sooner. I'm picturing that we're telling the story of somebody that's like, they're more mature in age, but it doesn't matter how mature we are in age. We still, if we haven't assessed the lessons that we have gone through and extracted the correct lessons out of them, then we still didn't turn our experiences into wisdom. But in this storyline, this is a character who could be, I mean, like, maybe they've dated a lot, been married, divorced, maybe never ended up getting married, kept ending up with wrong people, liars, cheats, all of that. And it was, the whole core of this was our character didn't realize they've always had a ton to offer. And that was the only like thing they couldn't comprehend, that other people first off wanted them so much, even though they didn't have anything to offer in return. And I think they kept getting kind of like taken for a ride. Their kindness, their love, their sincerity was taken for granted, or they were, I'm sorry, but I think sometimes seen as a mark. It's like, wow, this person's so sexy. I'm going to I want a piece of that. But at the same time, I mean, I know I don't have anything to offer. So I'm going to come in, get what I can get, and then dip out. And I feel like our poor character dealt with a lot of that. Not their fault, just saying they hadn't yet put two and two together and realized, wait a second, I have a ton to offer and they're the ones who don't. And now, why didn't I figure this out sooner? Damn, I could have if I had figured that out when I was, in my 20s, I wouldn't have gone through so many of those stupid lessons and heartbreaks. That Three of Swords. Thing is, it is all just lessons. It is all, something that will bring about acknowledgement and knowledge. So yeah, Knight of Pentacles, and we don't have to dwell on this anymore because our characters got a timeline shift. They're going a whole new way now. Whatever happened in Year of the Tiger, they may have had one final really bad ending. So Year of the Tiger would have been 2 years ago, because last year was Year of the Dragon. Year of the Tiger was a year before that. So I'm thinking this character has been chewing on endings and stuff for 2 years. And this year, this is the year to let it go. King of Wands is upright. And yes, I'm sorry, I have to quote the Arcade Fire because I think it's so rad that a band, came out with a song. It's called Year of the Snake. But the lyrics in it, it's like, oh, in the year of the rabbit, I made it a habit of waiting on you. But then in the year of the snake, I'm, oh gosh, something about like I'm making a big change. It's, the song is really great. It's just about like letting go of people that we've been holding on to, letting go of old lessons we already went through. And even though it hurts to do it, we're better for it. Our character ends up with a King of Wands. And I think that they will be divinely guided toward the right person. I think that they will know that a person loves them for more than just their looks, which I think is really important in this story, because we have been telling a story of a very beautiful person who does not know that they're beautiful. This person literally has no clue how attractive they are. But what's amazing is the person who's right for them, it's not going to matter how sexy they are. Heck, maybe they're going to meet somebody who doesn't have vision, somebody who is actually blind. That's actually what we see on this card. And it's like, well, I know they don't want me for just my looks. I know that they don't care what I look like. They like my heart. They like who I am. It's definitely, it's a really important thing to be able to finally attract and meet somebody who they show their heart and they show what they care about. So our character, I think that this was all their journey toward being able to attract the right person. There could be a Leo, Sag, or Aries that is the right individual for them. I definitely feel like they meet this person this year. Is it soon, or is this Justice card? It's as soon as our character gets the lessons that the ancestors have been trying to, impress upon them throughout this storyline. The second they realize, oh, wait a minute. All right, let me change a few things about how I see myself. Let me change a few things about how I've been looking at, what I've been through. Yeah, I'd like the balance to come back in my life. I wonder if our character got done poorly specifically by like a Libra at some point, and that was the one that like really lingered and made them say, maybe I just don't even want to do love at all, because that was just the last straw. That's the one that hurt the most. Oftentimes we get to that point where we go, I don't want to do this anymore. I hate this. This is awful. And it's because it's like, when things keep going wrong and we keep meeting the wrong one again and again and again, and then finally we meet that one last one, and it's like, that was too many. That was the epitome of the wrong person again and again, who lies through their teeth, tells me, that they're going to be my forever person, only to find out they were just here for a short time and they knew it right from the beginning. I mean, maybe they got really lied to. Maybe somebody was, a total cheat, or said all the right things only to find out they were completely full of crap. It feels like they hit a point of saturation for the BS. And the universe is like, as soon as our character is ready to say, oh, no more BS. I'm not going to deal with somebody who acts like they know me too soon, or somebody who says all the right things, but it's like, this feels rehearsed. I think they kept meeting people that were overly familiar, that were very suave, that were very charming. And again, completely confused the hell out of our character, because she didn't know how sexy she was. She didn't know how attractive she was. Big lesson to learn. Isn't that kind of, it's kind of a nice message, actually, that the one thing our character needs to do is look in the mirror and actually see that they're beautiful. That's the most important thing right now. And I think finding self-worth is just such a struggle in life as a whole, but especially it was for this particular character. So it's kind of refreshing to see a storyline where it's like, this person didn't have too much ego. They didn't have enough ego. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. Robin, EM, Cozy, thank you so much. Shout out to you in London. We will be doing Ophiuchus, Taurus, Scorpio, definitely a Virgo today, probably also a Capricorn today. Some of those will come out tonight. One or two of them will come out right now. But just so you guys know, I will be getting to Zodiacs today and tonight. Yes, Annie. Absolutely. Oh, you're welcome, honey. Absolutely. I know you wait for those Taurus ones. And thank you guys. It's so cute how I know which zodiac some of you wait for. And it always like, if I see your name out there, I'm like, got to get to a Taurus. Got to get to a Taurus. Should have had one yesterday, but I didn't do any zodiacs yesterday. Christy Peruso, ciao, darling. Hey, Carl. Thanks for being here. Hi, Leah. So great to see you lately, hun. Akem, thanks for popping in. VW the Fox, hey, hey. Delinda, Ken Ramey. I love it. Cake with Kate. That is so awesome, Ken. Sarah J, LJ888. Oh, thank you. Shout out to you in Western Australia. Or excuse me, I shouldn't say Western, but in Australia. Thank you, guys. Love, light, laughter. Great to see you, honey. Louise Brewster, wonderful to see you twice in a day. Absolutely. And EM, you were first in the house, darling. Delinda, thanks. You were second in the house. All right, you guys, I will see you again. I'm going to start doing a couple of zodiacs. Probably I'll do at least 2 before I break, and then I'll be back tonight. But thank you, guys. Bye.